Rose Elena George got married as a teenager to an older man. Soon she was pregnant and no longer in school. Eventually, her husband took a second wife, deserting Rose and their 5 children in their rural village in eastern South Sudan. Because women in South Sudan have few options to support themselves, especially in rural areas, Rose struggled to feed her children and pay their school fees.
Rose's case came to limelight when we were having the first women coffee group discussions in Ikotos. What exactly happened in her situation is when the husband married a second wife, he somehow neglected his parental responsibility of catering for the children's welfare. So this went on for 4 years. She didn't know where to go. Every consultation she will take with her family, with the family of her husband, turned out futile.
Stories like Rose's are common in South Sudan, a 4-year-old country of about 12 million people that is struggling to develop as a nation in the wake of independence and amid an ongoing civil war. The government does not provide basic public services, and South Sudan's formal statutory justice system is weak. In many areas, statutory courts don't exist at all, and few people are aware of the country's laws. Many suffer without help or resort to violence and revenge, or they rely on South Sudan's customary system, which uses traditional means of justice rather than the country's modern written laws. A common customary punishment for raping a married woman, for example, is to compensate her husband with cattle, and marriages involving young girls are not viewed as a crime.
Our society is very patriarchal, that a man should rule and to control the woman. And a woman, even though she is powerful, she cannot question a man. Violence against women is normal. Customary law does not recognize women's human rights. And actually this is why access to justice is implementing this in rural communities to change the minds of the people.
With funding from the U.S. State Department, Pact launched its Access to Justice program in South Sudan in late 2011. Shortly after the country's independence.
The Constitution of South Sudan.
Pact educates citizens about South Sudan's written laws and human rights.
What are those kind of the challenges that women and girls are facing?
Using radio shows, community plays, women's coffee groups, and formal trainings for community leaders and justice system workers. Among its key messages are that violence against women, including rape, is illegal and can be punished as a crime, that forced marriage and the marriage of young girls is no longer acceptable, and that disputes should be resolved using the law or mediation rather than with revenge. Pact runs 11 legal aid clinics across South Sudan, where the poor can obtain free legal assistance, including representation and help mediating disagreements. Besides representing victims of child marriage, domestic violence, or labor exploitation, for example, the clinics help people who are wrongly imprisoned or whose cases have otherwise been mishandled, such as children incarcerated without charge or women facing harsh punishments for defending themselves against abusive men. In early 2015, Pact opened a legal aid desk inside a protection camp for civilians displaced by the civil war.
There are many people, helpless people up there, that if not because of this program, these people could stay in jail for an ordinary period of time. These people's property could be taken by individuals who are powerful in the community. And if not because of this program, many people will actually not be knowing what rightfully belongs to them as provided by law.
Pact also trains volunteer paralegals to supplement the efforts of South Sudan's few lawyers. They help with cases as well as with public education and awareness campaigns.
This is so important because We know that as humans, we all live on our rights. If you don't know your rights, you really can't do something that can help you as a human being.
What Pact does in our eyes is bring justice to people who normally would not get it. It works with traditional leaders in the villages and in some of the cities and helps to resolve disputes. And I think it really gives an opportunity for disputes to be resolved in a peaceful way. And what we've seen so often here in South Sudan is that small disputes blow up into bigger and bigger things. And with the proliferation of weapons in the country, there really needs to be more programs like this that allow conflicts to be resolved at a very, very early level without intervention from police, governments, and troops.
Pact's Access to Justice program is building the rule of law, stability, and peace in South Sudan. In the past 3.5 years, Access to Justice has educated more than 45,000 people about human rights and South Sudan's laws, and it has provided pro bono legal assistance to roughly 1,000. Rose and her children are among them. Pact and its local partner, the South Sudan Law Society, took up Rose's case, located her husband, and used the law to improve Rose's situation.
So what we did was to reinstate the case. In court where the husband was, we found out his workplace. He works in the Ministry of Local Government. So in court was when he was asked why he did not fulfill what initially he was told to do a year ago.
Rose's husband agreed to a judge's order to resume providing for his children.
He now visits, he comes home, at least the children know him, and he provides some financial assistance to the family.
Rose is now able to pay for their medical care, food, and school fees. It's unusual for women in South Sudan to challenge their husbands as Rose did. She was scared at first, and some of her neighbors criticized her. But others, especially friends she made through Pact's Women's Coffee Group, supported her.
Many people told me not to go. They said, it's not good to take your husband to court because he married you. But if he married a wife and is not taking care of her, you cannot take him to court? I took him to court. I didn't pay attention to what people were saying. I made up my mind, and God is with me. Yes, there are a lot of people who have the same problem as mine, but the time will come when they will come out to show their problem. I am now the one who paved the way for them, and they are following me. Now I am like the chief in that area. Everyone who has a problem, they come to me. Then I tell them, go to the Law Society.